What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my daily 10-minute podcast entitled Undiagnosed Baddie, where I just talk about whatever I want to talk about for 10 minutes and that's it. So, today I wanted to talk about convenience, and that's because I have been fully influenced by going to Whole Foods and getting one of their $35, what is it called? Family meal, which is technically 4 meals in a tray for $35. Fresh food, you get to go and customize it. Now, they do have some off to the side that is like pre-made, like I guess stuff they're trying to get rid of. So when you buy those, they're less. They're like $30 because you don't get to pick. But for the extra $5, you can customize yours. Now today, I was able to get steak, a Greek tortellini salad, and mashed potatoes. That's what I wanted today. And I think they were out of other stuff. I've seen other locations have different a variety of sides, and so I'm gonna try another Whole Foods location. I just went to the one that was closest to my house because we're supposed to get snow. We're supposed to get 3 to 5 inches of snow, and I wanted to make sure that me and the kid had some convenient food where neither one of us had to cook anything. I also want to say that being an older woman and just having a base really of, okay, well, I know if I wanted a snack, I could have some salad. If I wanted, a little bit heavier of a meal, but not a whole meal, I can have like a piece because it was cut fine. Right, you'll see that on my vlog because I did vlog. Shout out to me. I was able to get a camera, so y'all, good news, the vlogs are coming. And I noticed that I'm probably gonna have to start going places and in off hours or during off hours because I don't really like getting other people on the camera, but it's part of being outside and it is what it is. Also, I had the kid with me, so I kind of rushed through it a little bit, but I do need a few more attachments so I can get different angles as I'm outside because the people love different angles, and if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it right. You already know that is what I do. I do what I can to the best of my ability. So right now, this is the set because this is what I have, but it's recognizable when you see my face, when you see the Undiagnosed Baddie, thumbnail, when you see the Convo and Co thumbnail, when you see Life, Lust, and Lies thumbnail, you know it's me and you know what you're looking for. I try to make that easy because my page is just my page. I want everybody just to be able to come to one place and find what they're looking for. Having multiple pages never appealed to me, but I want to get back into convenience, okay? So I remember I was dealing with this gentleman. I don't know if he watches this stuff, but I'm going to say something so he would know that it was him if he was. He is a descendant of Harriet Tubman. His folks are from like Annapolis, Eastern Shore, and yeah, there's that. So I remember us talking and me saying I wanted, like, if we were just talking about life and the holidays and what women go through during the holidays, trying to make sure that everybody is taken care of. So I know that I was like, yeah, so I would want somebody to be there to clean up, have someone on site. Everybody, number one, doesn't have family. People do need to make money, and so if it was Thanksgiving or cookout or whatever, you have someone on site that's saying, hey, go around, pick up the soda cans, take the trash out, do this, do that. So at the end of the night, I'm not having to do that. Throughout the party, I'm not having to do that. And he was like, oh, that's something that you would do. I said, absolutely. I would also cater certain events. And I'm not saying that I wouldn't cook at all because I make a mean macaroni and cheese. I do. I make great Brussels as well. But the convenience for me, right? And I'm talking to him, that sometimes you have stuff to do. So let's just get the ribs catered, or let's get something catered to alleviate what it is to prepare. And there was resistance there, and he was like almost saying like, well, that's kind of your job. And I was like, no, babe, it's not. You get to a point, and this is how I know people who have never truly hosted in a great host fashion, you need help. You need extra hands on deck that are not a part of the party. Now, um, when the girls get together, do we all put a chipping hand in, a helping hand in, and chip in? That's what I was trying to say, and get stuff done and make everything go smoothly. Yeah, that's great for like a party of 5 or 6, but once it goes beyond 6, you need on-site help that's paid, that's not a part of the event, for making sure that everything runs smoothly. What is that called? That is part of being having the convenience, the luxury almost of being able to have that on site, the convenience of saying, can you go empty the guest bathroom, trash can, reset the bathroom for me because it's been about 2 hours and I'm pretty sure the sink needs to be wiped down or whatever is going on. The convenience of having the help, the convenience of having stuff prepped for you. Can I make a large charcuterie board? Yes, the convenience of outsourcing. That's what I've been trying to say. The convenience of outsourcing makes women's lives so better. And I believe that men are so resistant to that because they feel that it is our place to duly slave and prepare everything because that's what they seen their mother do. Now, I did make a point in my last Convo and Co, episode 6, titled, you're auditioning for a role that he was never going to give you. Go check that out. Shameless plug. But I talk about how I lost my train of thought, but I know in that episode I talked about you're doing all this wifey material things, and men expect you to do these things. Right, there we go. Because the woman didn't have the option before, because at some point women weren't allowed to work. Women weren't allowed to have bank accounts, and women weren't allowed to have their own businesses. So they saw their grandmothers and mothers in those roles specifically because that was their role. That's all they could do. They could not work. They could not leave the house to truly pour into themselves and figure out what they liked out of life. So, yeah, that's what you saw, but the modern working woman. But also, let's talk about how he expected monetary contribution while you did A through W, and he's just doing, QRCVW, X, Y, and Z. It's crazy when you talk about roles and it goes, okay, there's certain gender roles that should happen. This person should take out the trash, or this person, where is this coming from? Person should, take care of the groceries or whatever, laundry or whatever masculine and feminine household duties that you want to assign to whatever role. While I know that every person in the house should be able to take on both roles to survive as a human. And you come up with whatever roles or whatever, but it's always crazy how men nowadays want you to put in on things financially and still do more, contribute more to the household emotionally, literally, physically, by doing the chores, and what I say, emotionally, physically, and mentally by having the household calendar run. It is a lot. I begin to shut down when I have to do everything. And that even goes for what's going on here in my house with just my kid. I'm not thinking, if you don't send me a grocery list, sorry. If you don't get up and go to the grocery store, sorry. I'm not going to keep buying food that you're not going to eat. I'm not going to keep, at your age, at your big age, buying snacks that are being left. Oh, I didn't want those this time. How am I supposed to know? So in order to alleviate that from myself, you either go or you send a list. And it's just part of also becoming an adult. We're going on 16 years old. So going back to the convenience of it all. I love convenience, and I'm never going to stop outsourcing and doing things in a convenient way. I'm just not.